What made you want to stay at your institution for that long, many seasons?
That's a common question, actually. The timing was never right for me to go on to that next level. And I didn't search it out. And kids were growing up, going to high school. I didn't want to pull them out. And I've seen some of my friends go into the coaching aspect, and they're in maybe 18, 20 years before they get the job they want. And I just didn't want to move around that much at that point in time in my life. Looking back, maybe I could have. Financially, it's a whole different game now. So I would say basically it was never the right timing. And I think if you're going to go coach at another level, you better have a lot of trust in the people you're with. And I just didn't know how far I wanted to go with that, because you'll get fired, very quickly. So that was my main reason.
Well, it obviously very much worked out for you. And of course, early on your coaching journey, you sent out hundreds of resumes just to get the opportunity. What did that teach you about yourself when it comes to perseverance?
When all this started to occur in 1989 at Kirkwood, I guess that's when, 89 at Kirkwood, yeah. All I was trying to do was get a job, because I was working as a janitor, supervisor of janitors. Could not find a job. I went from Cumberland College to Tiffin University, and then I didn't have a good experience at Tiffin, so I just went back to Iowa. And whoever got the job first, we just went with it. My wife got the job, of course, so there weren't jobs, so I just did a janitorial, and I got lucky and got a high school job. And I get the job, and they tell me, well, we're probably going to consolidate. The school, they're going to consolidate because the school's really small. So I was like, great, so Kirkwood opened, applied for the men's job because I was a men's coach, and came in second or third, and they had my resume on file, and their women's coach took a sabbatical and said, are you interested? So I interviewed basically like this in the president's office in the morning, and I was like, he hired me basically on the spot. Yeah, so it's like perseverance was like, I did a lot of stuff that I didn't get the job, and all of a sudden I got the Kirkwood job. And I'll say in my speech, I started my salary. I was teaching 34 hours, head softball, head basketball coach at a college, making $22,700. So I think perseverance has been there.
That's absolutely incredible.
$22,700 is like what? It's like poverty level now. So
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
Greatest accomplishment. Well, that's a tough question. I would say just being able to. I always thought our success was not the championships, but just winning consistently at our level is really difficult, because we replace kids every year. What they're doing now, that's what I've done for 37 years. The D1s are losing transfer portal and all that stuff, but I kind of laugh, because we've been doing that for 37 years. You replace your roster, basically, at least half of it every year. So our consistency, I would say, would be a pretty major accomplishment at our level, because you see at the junior college level, schools will be really good one year, really bad the next. It's like a roller coaster. So we've maintained pretty consistency for close to 40 years. Yeah,
absolutely. And going from that and having so much turnover, what role do you aspire to kind of be in an athlete's life or one of your players' lives?
Well, we get kids that are maybe got overlooked in the recruiting process, maybe got hurt that junior year, that AAU season, so everybody's off of them. And those kids are coming us kind of a little broken sometimes. So to get them, or a transfer, get them back to loving the game of basketball, and then the big part is getting them to play together, because they want to go. We have a rule called the 4-2-4. So you transfer from a 4-year, a D1, to a 2-year, you got to graduate to go back to the D1. So they are trying to, and kids' stats and all that stuff. So it's kind of a difficult process sometimes to get those kids back into what they need to be to get to where they want to go. So I say that's pretty tough.
I feel like you're a lot more than a coach to most of the women that you have coached. What do you think a lot of people or coaches get wrong when it comes to coaching?
Get wrong? Maybe, and I've done this too, so sometimes you put too much emphasis on winning. And we're dealing with 18 to 20, I am, 18 to 20-year-old kids. And they're just trying to figure it out. A lot of kids are 18 years old, first time away from home, got a lot more free time than they've ever had. So they end up, some fall through the cracks. They don't want to go to class. They don't want to get grades. I mean, there's a lot of variables that they must do prior to going to that next step in their career. So,
absolutely. Who would you say was your biggest inspiration kind of through this entire process of the 37 seasons?
My biggest inspiration, we've kind of always, I did not have a lot of mentors. Like you'll hear that, I'm sure, today, but I never had a lot of mentors because it was like I went from high school to the Army, college, and then I worked in admissions for a little bit and did some jobs I didn't want to do. And I just started sending out letters and got the job. So I kind of looked, John Wooden was somebody I really looked at that point in time. You're talking in 1989, John Wooden was pretty popular back then. But his beliefs and how he did things were pretty much on target, So I think maybe that would be somebody that I would have looked at that point in time.
That's awesome. And outside of basketball, what's something you would want people to know about you that maybe they don't know?
Outside of basketball, I don't have a lot of hobbies. That's what everybody's worried about, this retirement thing with me, because I don't golf and go to the casino a little bit, but not much. But realistically, I'm not worried about the next step. There's always something to do for me. So. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know if I can answer that. Because most people know I just did basketball for 37 years. It's been a big part of my life, even when I was growing up. So that's probably, I can't answer it much better.
Oh, that was awesome. With every player that you've coached, what do you hope that she takes into life, maybe outside of basketball?
Just to be successful. It's not. We don't get kids that are, I've had in my career, we've had a lot of kids go Division I. Not a lot. One player, I think, has went pro in the WNBA. But we emphasize more getting a degree and being successful in life, whatever that may be. But I've had so many kids go on that are very successful financially and just as their personal. So I think that's a big part of, we want kids to get the degree and get out of there and go to the next level and get the education paid for. And now it's obviously a whole different ball game. So, but we still get kids that, I think that's what you're seeing too, is some of these coaches are looking at our players at our level and taking them, if they're good enough, because they aren't looking at the money. Like the JUCO kids do not look at the money as much. They will, because it's getting offered, but they are more interested in, hey, I just want to play, because that's kind of our level. Because all we can at Kirkwood, tuition fees and books. So kids have to pay for their room and board. So that makes it even more interesting.